Hey, what is up guys, this is Astranox and I'm back with another Epic 7 video, and today I want to do a guide slash review for Silk. Such an amazing hero. She is free, you can do her connection on the left side in the lobby, talk to the NPC at the table by himself or herself, it changes. So, there it is, you get all this stuff, you get her for free. I got her, I've been using her since I started playing this game. She currently has the highest CP on my team, and yeah, I'll do a review of her. So let me go in the journal first because I want the skills to be shown without any enhancement. Like Silk, you can pretty much use her everywhere. Probably beside the wyverns. But here we go here. Let's talk about her stats real quick. She does get speed from awakening. The 4th awakening gives her 4 speed. At 121 speed, it's definitely top tier material in terms of speed. And her health is a bit on the lower side. She has better defense. So if you have to choose between defense percentage and health percentage, I would go with defense percentage. And yeah, her attack is very high actually, and she doesn't get any effectiveness from awakening. But let's dig into her skills real quick. So her skill 1, it scales off of speed and attack. She decreases the combat readiness of the target by 7% initially, and it goes up to 10%. It takes 20 souls to soul burn the effect, and you can, if you have, let's say, a bunch of souls, let's say you have like 80 souls, you can attack with her 5 times in a row, just to let you know. And you can keep on reducing the combat readiness of the target, the boss you might be fighting, and you can it helps a lot in controlling a fight, especially in the abyss. Now she uses that, but if she has 3 focus or more, because it goes up to 5, if she has 3 or more, she will use it's called automatic fire, and it's this skill called concentration, and if you skill it up, the damage will go up of that skill. But if you skill up this one for damage, it will also boost the damage of the automatic fire. But I would work on this one first, because if she receives damage, she loses 2 focus. So if you know she's not gonna take any damage, yeah, she's gonna do her maximum amount of damage by using this thing. Now this is really the best about her. Attacks everyone, decrease their speed. You can have 95% chance to decrease speed when you skill it up, and it increases the speed of all allies and herself for 2 turns. This is on a 5-turn cooldown, and it becomes 4-turn cooldown when you skill it up, which I did. This real quick, dispatch mission explore type, reward 6% increase. And in her awakening, like I said, the 4th one increased her speed by 4, so you definitely want to do that one. Then you get attack twice for the 5th and the 6th one, and you will need demon blood gems to get the 6th one, and also for her skill enhancement. I highly recommend you to complete the connection and work on building Silk, because I use her pretty much everywhere in the game, even in PvP. So Molagora, and then 4, this is definitely the one you want to rush for initially. You're gonna need some Flame of Soul, and then at the end you will need the demon blood gem if you want increased damage. But the majority of the damage she will do against a boss single target attack, it will be from her skill 1 or the 2nd skill when it's enhanced, when she's got 3 focus or more. But if there's a bunch of monsters, this will deal quite a bit of damage overall. Like if I compare Silk to my Sid, which is Sid is an extremely high single target damage dealer. Sid will deal more damage, but if there is multiple monsters and she use her third skill, she will deal a ton of damage. Like, she will beat Sid in multiple fights, like Banshee. I'll show you my stats, but my Silk, she doesn't have that much attack. So let's talk about her memory imprint real quick. Let's sort this by CP because she's first. So she's got so it starts at 2.9% attack, but it's only for the front and bottom hero. So that's unfortunate, but I mean, it could be the best you got. Thing is, you might have a tank in the front line, so you're gonna have to have your highest damage dealer that needs a ton of attack on the bottom slot. Alright, so let's talk about the best items for her, best sets and substats that you want to look for. So I'm using speed set and hit set. That's pretty much what you want to go for. You could go for speed and crit. That's another way to build her, but you will need to get a bunch of effectiveness out of your substats though. So for my gear, like here, this weapon got very high crit damage and health, but like if I wanted the highest DPS, it would look like, yeah, the crit chance, the crit damage is good, but I would like more speed, and instead of the health it would be attack. That would be pure damage. That would be purely for damage. And you need a good balance of all the stats I'm talking about, like speed especially, because you want her to go first to land the speed down on the enemy and buff up your group. But you don't need to necessarily have her at the highest amount of speed and have her go first. You could have like, she's doing quite a bit of damage. She's doing a ton of damage. So I can have my Diane, that attack buff, at 192 speed. She's higher than Silk. Sometimes the speed is funky in this game. Sometimes Silk goes first, sometimes Diane. So I need a bigger gap in between both. But yeah, you can play around with your speed and try to have your heroes in the order that you want. Like this piece, it's not that good, but I needed a bunch of effectiveness, and this covered it. Has attack, crit damage, but effect resistance is useless, especially since I've got a hero that removed debuffs. But I mean, it does help a bit in PvP though. This piece, the speed is low, but the crit damage is very high. You got crit chance as well. Flat health, I mean, that's not a good stat, but I guess it's better than nothing. When that happens, you don't want it to roll too often in the flat health, defense, stats. This I bought from the secret shop. The crit chance is very high because it's tier 6. With some survival stats and some crit damage. Fortunately, didn't roll in this flat defense. This is defense percentage. Like I said, if you have to choose between defense and health, you would. It's better to go with defense. And I mean, there's speed, there's attack, there's crit chance there, so it's all good stats. And I like to have a bit more survival on my Silk. Like, I could go with attack percentage here, but like in arena PvP, she does get targeted quite a bit, and so yeah, a bit more survival does help. And yeah, you want boots with speed definitely. So these have all the stats there are useful. I would have preferred more rolls into the effectiveness, but yeah. I mean, effectiveness is good, but you have to remember that her skill 1 does not apply any debuff, but it does reduce the combat readiness of the target. So yeah, effectiveness is very useful. And there's so many times where I soul burn the skill and I reduce the combat readiness of a boss in the Abyss multiple times, and I was able to have an extra turn with pretty much all my my allies, and like control the fight much easily. It was much easier to deal with the boss because of this. So in terms of skill ups, because I kind of, yeah, I said go on the -1 turn for sure, And then I would work on getting my +1 combat readiness on this one. And you could also go for the +2. Yeah, the price is not too bad. Now you're gonna get a ton of damage increase from +6 and +7. But you should also work, like, get the first. This is one more Lagora, like it's nothing. So I would get number 1. Yeah, I would do something like -1 turn here, then work on this until +3, and then do +1 here, and then +5 here. +5 here, and then you could do +2, and then finish that one. Then here the effect. I guess the effect is very useful. So yeah, you could get +3, +1. Then of course you go +2. That's the priority, and then you go +3 here, and you keep working on the damage, and you push it here and you complete this one. All right, so artifact for her, like for me, what I use is this. But there is one artifact that I would be using if I had it. So yeah, for substats, like I said, attack, crit damage, speed. So speed is top priority, and then you want to balance your attack, crit damage, and of course you need some effectiveness, a healthy amount. And for artifacts, okay, let's go 4-star. So the one I would be using would be Infinity Basket, because when she goes, all your allies have an increased chance to dual attack. So it's between 7 and 14%, and they have 20% increased damage when that happens. Thing is, in my particular situation, this is actually quite good because they increase her dual attack chance whenever any of the other allies go. So I'm using Sid, which can defense down on his skill 1, and Tarnargard can defense down on skill 1. So let's say any of them go, and there's no defense down on the target, and it gets applied, and then she dual attacks. She's gonna attacking the target that has defense down, meaning she's gonna do double damage, and everyone's gonna do double damage against that target. But the thing is, if someone combines with her, she's gonna attack first, and then like Sid or Tarnargard would defense down the target, meaning it wouldn't do as much damage. But overall, this would do it would do more damage. It would be more beneficial, because I mean, a dual attack has a much higher chance to happen with this overall when she goes than when other allies go with this thing. It's a high dual attack chance, but Infinity Basket will make the dual attack more happen more often. So beside that, there is this got nerfed. Wouldn't use it on her. This is a better version than I'll show you the one. This is between 10 and 20%. There's an event, you can get it now. It's a better version of this, but it's for rangers only. So this is 8 to 16%. The other one is 10 to 20%. But definitely, like, if you have Rosa Hargana or Infinity Basket, I would use those. And then 5-star, you definitely go with Song of Stars, because this applies a mark on the target and it will receive because you need targeted for 2 turns. You need to do a single attack, and she does single attack, and it applies a mark, and everyone in your group, including herself, does 15% damage increase against that target. So it's very good. Wish I had it. So this is better in PvE, but for PvP, I would go with Infinity Basket or Rosa Hargana. And if you don't have those and you have to use a 3-star, you could use Ancient Sheet or Ambrode, which is free. if you want to increase her damage, her crit chance, this builds up crit. It's the amount times 3. You need to, every time you crit, it gives you a stack and it carries over in between waves. But yeah, okay, so let's move on here. Now, where does she shine? Like I said, you can pretty much use her everywhere. Currently, I'm using her. She's part of my main team. Let me show you what kind of team I'm running. So I've got this team. And I use this in PvP. I use this in, you can use this in Raid. I use this in Banshee. I mean, if you could use it in Golem, but it would be quite slow. It's better to run like a group with poison. What late game, if you have crazy gear, you can destroy Golem. But yeah, and yeah, in the Abyss, you can definitely use Silk in the Abyss. She's amazing. She's gonna be stronger against ice monsters, ice enemies, because she'll receive less damage and she'll deal more damage. You wouldn't want to bring her against like a heavy amount of fire enemies. That's for sure. And there's also, I run this team as well. So I'm free to play, by the way. So I've been using her for a long time. I didn't use her early on because I was farming Wyvern a lot, and like she's earth and Wyvern is fire, so that doesn't work too well together. I did try her out, but it's hard to land her speed down, and the boss is immune to combat readiness reduction effects. You can use her in the Spirit Altar everywhere. Beside the Flame Spirit Altar. Yeah, I use her everywhere in there. And yeah, in Arena, in challenges, in the normal Labyrinth, in the Raid, I use her heavily. Depends what you're fighting, which boss, but yeah. And here in my hunts, like Banshee, I use her for Banshee 9. That's where I'm at. My team is auto, it's stable. I show you the team with Falconer, Clury, Diane, and Sid. And she's just amazing. She's just amazing. So I've shown you some team compositions. You can use her as your main damage dealer, and she will help out with debuffing speed down, controlling the combat readiness, and boosting the speed of your group. Just great. And definitely amazing for PvP. If you check Arena, I'm in Challenger 2. This is my defense. I should put the Clury in front. And if we go in top teams right now, total ranking, Silk third team. I mean, she was heavily used before, but you have to remember, players on the top, like they spend money, and they have a bunch of like crazy heroes like for PvP, but she's amazing in PvP. Yeah, the meta is changing all the time. That's why. I guess she doesn't show up that much because the meta will change to something more tanky. Number 38. Might have skipped someone. 49. There's also Yuna you can get for free. Yuna boosts the attack and the speed of everyone on your team, and she does area damage all the time though. It's not single target attacks, and she can't control the combat readiness of the target. Yuna is ice and Silk is earth, so they're different. they're different. I prefer Silk because I have Diane that boosts the attack in the group already. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, you should definitely build her. Definitely build her. Not that hard to gear, really. Of course, you want speed on your other support heroes in most cases. But if you have speed with damage dealing stats on them, crit damage, of course, like speed with effectiveness is gonna be quite sought for your supports that need to land debuffs, and you want to go have them go through your their turns as fast as possible. But still, like Sid and Silk, they're both in need of the same type of gear basically. But I put my Sid on lifesteal from the Abyss Tower. So yeah, so yeah, she's definitely worth getting, and you're gonna be happy to have built her. That's all I can really say. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'm Astranox. Like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And I have a bunch of gameplay videos using Silk already, so just go through my my videos using her, like I said, everywhere. Like, have her in my Banshee, have her in PvP, have her in Raid, have her in Abyss. So yeah, check those out. Peace out for now.